Hey everybody, in this video, we're going to learn about while loops. And in order to help us understand how while loops work, we are going to relate it to for loops, which we learned previously. This one's just going to be just printing out numbers like our for loop was when we started. Now, in our last one, or in our previous one, we printed out the numbers 1 to 4. So we had 4i in range, 1 is our beginning value, and 5 is our end value. So it goes all the way up to 5, but it does not include 5. So we're going to have these parts created separately if we're going to do this with a while loop. So we're going to have a starting value, in this case I equals 1. And then we're going to have while, and notice that it turns blue, and in this case it's italic, to help us know it's a keyword. And then we need some kind of like condition that's going to be checked to let us know when we're going to run the code inside of our while loop. So while what is true, do I want to keep printing I? In this case, while I is less than 5. So it's the same idea as up here. This is our ending value. This is also our ending value. And then we're going to go ahead and print I. Now, if we go ahead and run this, we're going to find out that we get an infinite loop. That is not good. And that is because 1 never changes, or in this case, I never changes. So we need to change I. The nice thing about a for loop is it does that all for us. Does it for us. In the background, we don't have to do that. But if we're trying to make an equivalent while loop, we have to do it. So I equals I plus 1. So we're going to go ahead and take the previous value of I. We're going to add 1 to it. So the first time to the loop, I is 1. There's a 1 right here. And this is a true statement. Therefore, it's going to print 1. Then it's going to come here and put a 1 in for this I. It's going to do the math, and now I is going to have a value of 2. There's no more code to run inside of the while loop, so it's going to come back up here, change this to a 2. And if this is true, which it is, this will be a 2. And then I had I plus 1 here, and now this will be a 2, and this will be a 3. And now I is a 3. Then it's going to come back up and keep doing that over and over and over again. So let's reset this back. I and I. Then let's go ahead and check this. And it does go ahead and start at 1, and it goes all the way up to 4, but it doesn't include 4. Because as soon as it gets to 4, this ends up being 5. And then is 5 less than 5? No, so it never gets an opportunity to print 5. That's that. Sweet. Next one. We're going to do a similar thing. We're going to start at 0 this time. We're going to go up to 4, and we're going to count by 2s. So very similar. We're going to give I an initial value, in this case 0. We have to have a condition that, if true, we'll go ahead and print I. So while I is less than 5, like we had before, go ahead and print I. And then we just have to increment I a little bit differently. And instead of adding 1, we're just going to go ahead and add 2. Let's go ahead and run that, and we get 0, 2, and 4. All right, so in review, in order to make an equivalent while loop from a for loop, we have to initialize I like we did up here. And then we have to have our condition, which in this case, the condition is just this up here, the 5. Then we print like before, and then we have to increment it, which for loop does automatically for us. In this case, we have to do it ourselves. And then we keep doing that over and over. You just learned how to make a while loop, but there's another kind of while loop called a while true, which can actually make things maybe a little bit easier to understand right there. Or if you need to, go back and learn how to do for and enumerate right there. All right, take care, everybody. Happy coding.